Hi guys, it's Holly here at Faces, and today I am sat with the lovely Fabian, who is the owner of Enliven Skin. Fabian, thank you so much for coming on and speaking with
No,
me
thank
today.
you. Thank you for having me today. I'm really
You're more than
excited.
welcome. Good. You're more than welcome. So, should we just kick things off by just talking a little bit about you then and your business? So, do you want to just tell us how you got into the aesthetics industry? What was it that kind of made you want to do it, and how you got your business to where it is today?
Yeah, so I always been like kind of connected with beauty industry over like half of my life. So aesthetics was always something what I was very interesting of. But then in 2020, as you remember, the first lockdown happened. And then I was like, it's been 3 years already. Can you
I
believe it?
know, it's
Yeah,
crazy, crazy
I
time.
know. So yeah, the first lockdown happened, and I was like, oh, I have to like change something. I just need a receipt from what I'm doing right now. And then I was going for the breakup as well. So I was like, oh, let me just push myself. And then I did my foundation course. I did my other courses as well, and I just started doing aesthetics. So
Amazing.
slowly was I had some experience with running a business before, so I knew it's gonna take time
Yeah,
to build it up, everything. But
yeah.
yeah,
But
I'm really glad I actually pushed myself.
good. And thank God that your ex happened because your ex
I
was the
know.
reason. Like, thank you.
They are always X for a reason, right?
Exactly, exactly. Obviously, having come from a beauty background, you will have had like your existing client base, which is obviously a really good start when it comes to aesthetics. I think anyone who moves over from beauty to aesthetics, it is great that you've got a client base there.
Yeah.
What kind of treatments were you doing previously?
So I was hairdresser before
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah. So I was doing hair, but I was mostly in London. And then in the meantime, I just moved to Brighton. So to be fair, in Brighton, I just have to build it up everything from scratch. Like
Okay.
I didn't really knew people. I didn't really have clients in
Yeah.
Brighton. So
Yeah.
that was even more challenging. But
Yeah.
yeah, slowly, like I knew what I like. And obviously when you start doing treatments, you actually can feel what is your keen and what you prefer.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you say, obviously kind of going to Brighton and starting from scratch, like what did you found really worked for you when you're trying to build that client base? Because that's obviously something that a lot of practitioners really struggle with.
I was going to like more facial sculpting, like lips, derma fillers, and I was really thinking for a very long time that this is my thing. But then actually, since the I think last year, I'm more into like skin rejuvenation and like working on the skin quality, skin boosters, radio frequency, and yeah, and things like that. So I think you just have to like dive into aesthetics, try different things, and go for courses. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because we have bad and good courses.
Yes.
The training can be very, yeah. So, and lots of people they expect that they're just gonna like finish one training and it's gonna be done. It's gonna be like, oh yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
not like that.
No,
Like,
no.
yeah,
You
you have
can't
to
be an expert at something that you've learned in a day. It comes with
absolutely,
time,
yeah, totally,
practice. And I think, like you say, finding that kind of niche. So, the skin side
yeah,
of things is what you clearly really enjoy. I think,
exactly,
finding that niche and sort of sticking to it and becoming really good at that is obviously going
yeah,
to really help build your business as well. And I think as well, these days people are a lot more concerned about their skin as well. It's not as kind of
totally, yeah,
yeah, I think like 10 years ago, people would they still wanted to get like lip filler and things, but they weren't that
exactly,
bothered about the skin, but they work in conjunction with each other.
yeah,
There's no point getting anti-wrinkle injections if you're not gonna like
yeah,
use a moisturizer, use your SPF, use a hyaluronic
exactly,
acid,
yeah.
it's pointless.
And
It's just they all combine together, don't they?
yeah, totally. And I feel like also our clients are more aware what's available on market. They are more like educated. I think lots of practitioner educates their clients. So I feel like dermaphiles, like high cheekbones, big lips and stuff like this. That was very like 2017,
Yeah,
18. Like
yeah,
right now we're switching more into like natural look and more like glowing, healthy looking skin instead of like very sculpted face.
yeah, Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
What would
because I'm working in Brighton, like I have so many male clients, and also I'm working with the transgender community.
oh
So like face feminization or face masculinization is something what is really popular in my clinic.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm very like into this way to make like people feeling themselves at the end, and I
yeah,
think this is what really makes me happy in my job
yeah.
the most.
Oh,
Like the people look in the mirror, they're like, "Oh my God, I love it!" Like,
oh, amazing.
yeah,
And yeah, that's the thing when it comes to aesthetics, it's a journey, I think
yeah,
especially if you're you're working with the transgender community, they're not going to come out of one appointment looking like a male or like a female, it's a journey,
yeah.
it's building it up and really working with that client in terms of what they're
Absolutely,
looking
yeah.
for.
It's very unique for each client,
Yeah,
and it really depends what they're looking for. They have idea how they want to look like. It's also about the budget as well. It
yeah,
also depends like where they are in the transition, like in which point right now. So it's quite, yeah, but that's really like bonding me and my client,
yeah,
and we can like trust each other, and I think that's beautiful because you can build a really nice healthy relationship with your client, and
yeah,
that's also important.
absolutely. Because the thing is,
Yeah.
it's not just about the treatment, it's about the experience,
Yeah,
as a client, you want to be able to go into your practitioner's clinic and feel like you're being educated and that you are advising based on their specific requirements. And I think a
exactly.
lot of clients think there's like a one size fits all when it comes to
Yeah,
aesthetics. It'll be like, oh, I want to look like her or I want to look like
exactly.
him. And it's not
Yeah,
like that. It's about really developing that relationship with your practitioner to
yeah,
to get eventually an end result. It's not surgery at the end of the day. It's
exactly. Like, yeah, managing people expectations, especially when they come in with a picture or like Instagram and they're like, I want this. Like, we really have to educate them and explain them that every anatomy is unique, and okay, there's like beauty side and aesthetic side of this, but it's also the safety reason that we have to consider, and that's supposed to be the first place. Like, if I know that's gonna be too risky, or that's gonna, yeah, it's not gonna be too risky, I'm just rather to like say no instead of developing the treatment,
yeah,
because
and it's
safety always supposed to come first.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I completely agree.
yeah,
With regards to, because I find it interesting that you work with the transgender community, because I don't really speak to practitioners that are quite open about that. Maybe they do,
yeah.
maybe they just don't talk about it. But do you find it's sometimes quite an emotional experience for that person when they come in to see?
Yeah, totally. Because when they come into my clinic, I can see how they open up over time. Like they come in, they mostly like very shy at the first. Like it really depends of the person, but yeah, I can definitely tell they open up, and is yeah, it is quite nice. And I actually make few friends that they've been my clients first, and then yeah, we just know each other like more in the personal level.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Oh,
really happy about that. I'm really grateful that people trust me and people
yeah.
come in and I can just make them feeling happy.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing. Would you say that's your favorite thing about what you do then?
I think so. Yeah, I think making people happy and how they want to see the in the mirror is just, and like when you receive the message on the next day or in a few days, like, oh my God, I look amazing, like this is that made your day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Particularly, when it comes to aesthetic treatments, it can be such a huge part of someone's month or their week. And,
yeah,
really helping them with their insecurities or just making little tweaks which will just
exactly.
change the
Yeah,
look in a natural way. It can be a really emotional thing for some people.
absolutely.
I know that when I have treatments, I feel way more confident. It's something that is quite personal to me.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of other people feel the same.
thing is very personal all the time. Another aspect is like we have to, as a practitioners, also recognize when somebody have like body dysmorphia,
Yes.
and when they have really high expectations, and we have to manage them. I think this is really, really hard
Yeah.
because, as you know, like some of the people, they think aesthetics gonna be like surgery,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna be like this. Like we
Yeah.
have some limits that we can do with the face or body. So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And I think just touching on body dysmorphia as well, I think when it comes to dermal filler, you know, some people, they look in the mirror and they see that their lips are so small, like, and they might not be. And I think as a practitioner, it's your duty of care to ensure that you're supporting that person, but you're also saying no. And I think
Yeah,
that must be really hard because, you know,
it's really hard because you don't want to judge anyone. You don't want to judge the
yeah,
person. You don't want to make the person feel uncomfortable, but also you just have to manage like how they look, if they'll be able to speak, if it's safe for them. So yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I've seen it before in clinic where, you know, a person is refused a treatment and that is really hard for them because they like
yeah,
they want that treatment because they for their mental health, they feel like they need it. But obviously
exactly.
their safety comes first, like you say.
Yeah.
I think it's so important that, you know, practitioners really take that seriously. Even
Hmm.
on Faces, we have a body dysmorphia consent form as well, which
Yeah.
means that if you've got somebody, you could send it to everybody, but if you've got someone specifically who you think, I'm getting, you know, those kind of vibes
Yeah.
from them, you can send
Yeah.
that consent form and you can make a decision
Yeah.
based on the answers to that. So I think it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that I think, you know, will
Hmm.
come with confidence as well as a practitioner.
Exactly. Or sometimes when I feel that that might be an issue, then I'm trying always like build a relationship first with that person, make that person trusting me, and then maybe switch. Let's say a person have a big lips, a client, and want a bigger. So I'm trying to switch off from lips, give it maybe a skin booster instead,
Yeah,
and they're gonna be happy because they're gonna have a treatment done.
yeah,
It's not gonna be lips, or they're gonna feel that they have something done on the
yeah.
face. Then you can build that relationship, and then eventually you can suggest that maybe they need some like mental help to like
Yeah,
manage that kind of
yeah,
issues, you know.
100%. And I think that that's
Yeah,
one of the great things about all these, you know, new treatments coming out, you know, particularly, you know, skin boosters are fantastic.
yeah,
There's even skin boosters you can use in the lips as well for hydration. So I think, yeah, sometimes it's a case of that person, you know, going into clinic and actually just getting a treatment is, you know, such a big thing. So
yeah,
it's great that, you know, you have potential alternatives for that person. But I think
yeah,
as
yeah,
well, you know, building the relationship is everything because some people use that appointment as like their escape from work. They might be having trouble at work, they might be having trouble at home, and that
exactly.
appointment could be the highlight of their month.
Yeah,
It's a time for them to sit on the couch, open up to you, be in a safe space.
yeah, totally agree.
And it sounds like, you know, that's something which is a really real priority for you as a practitioner,
Yeah.
which is great. With regards to the treatments that you do then, so I know you touched on how skin rejuvenation is sort of a passion of yours and that's kind of an area that you like to focus on. What sorts of treatments are you finding are really popular at the moment?
I think that Botox is like number one.
Yeah, always.
And yeah, always. Like Botox we can use in different ways now. More like advanced technique like on the neck, on the jowls, or gummy smile, lip flip. So and people are very curious about because Botox actually can give you very subtle results. So because I have lots of like male clients, so for example, if they want a big lips, I rather to do a lip flip on them than
I
a
love a lip
dermaphiller.
flip. So nice.
Yeah, I know. Look very subtle, very natural. So I feel like on men, I have Botox like one of the top. Yeah, it's the top treatment, I think,
Yeah,
in my clinic. Yeah,
amazing.
totally.
And what about your skin boosters? What kind of skin boosters do you like to use?
Profilo is the first one that I use the most,
Yeah.
but I'm really a fan of Jello Pro.
Yes.
Especially, yeah, especially Jello Pro Super Hydro is great. I just really, really good see results after this one.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, particularly when they've just trained in skin boosters, they'll normally reach for like, you know, just the back technique, or they'll reach for kind of,
Yeah,
you know, 70 Hyal, the sort of newer skin boosters. But I think Jalapro and Profilo are like the OGs of skin
yeah, they
boosting.
are.
They
And
are,
also like yeah, and so many new treatments coming up all the time. Um, so yeah, I'm really like there is so many tools right now that we can use.
yeah.
Like look back in 5 years back, there was like Profilo.
I
That's it.
know, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, and now we have just so many that we can choose from, and yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any treatments that you are looking to train in at the moment? Have you got any training booked in?
Well, I'm thinking of BBL right now, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait because, as you know, there are new regulations coming up. So I
Yeah.
think I'm just gonna wait and see what's gonna be the guidance, what's gonna be the
Yeah.
regulations. So I don't want to put myself in the situation that I'm gonna pay lots for training
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna be able to use it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm just looking for that.
Yeah, just touching on regulation then, since we were going to talk about that anyway. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen yet. Nothing has been announced, but the
Yeah.
government have released the idea of a traffic light system. What are your thoughts on that? Your personal views?
Well, first of all, I will say that the training that's supposed to be firstly managed, like trainings right now, is a Wild West.
Yeah,
And then we don't know, like literally we can have 1 day training and it's done. And I don't think that's appropriate. I think that's supposed to be very in-depth anatomy training for everyone. In terms of like this green, amber, red, I'm okay with that. However, we have to know what the supervision means.
yeah,
Is
because
that mean we have to have the
hey, yeah,
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 does mean we have to have a medical in our clinic, or it's gonna be working like with the prescriber? Like I think that's the issue because if they're gonna cut off amber for not medic, it's not gonna be good for us.
if they are expecting people to get a medical professional in clinic, first of all, the NHS can't really
Yeah,
afford that. But
yeah,
secondly, it will be very expensive for you as a practitioner to have that. Personally, I think it's not necessary. I think we need to be
yeah,
looking at, good and bad practice rather than medic and non-medic. Um,
exactly.
and
Or
I think,
eventually
right,
have like something like connection with a medic in terms of like emergency that
yeah,
we have a medic like somewhere nearby and then
yeah,
we can always like call him or have extra hand or extra help.
yeah.
Definitely because there is lots of good practitioners and lots of practitioner non-medics train medics and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, I think now's a really great time because, you're able to give your own voice on your opinions and, the government are open to hearing
yeah,
what people think. So, they've put this information out and, now's the time where you can really have an impact. And I think that's why it's really great to have these conversations because we're hoping that we can have a little
absolutely,
impact as well. But yeah, I think obviously we don't know what's going to happen. Everyone has obviously their own views and everything. But I think as long as you are getting your consent from your client, you're going through the aftercare, you're putting your client's safety first, you're being hygienic in a clinical
yeah,
environment, ordering from licensed pharmacies and licensed sellers, connecting with a prescriber. I think as long as you're doing all of those things, that is best practice when it comes to aesthetics.
yeah, absolutely. And this is what's supposed to be regulated and I think this is what's supposed to be checked
Yeah,
on each
yeah,
in each clinic and with each practitioners because there is so many practitioners that they are, I don't know if they are at the beginning of the journey or they don't care. It's not a good practice that
yeah, that's it.
yeah, but that's why I like faces because on faces you can literally just have everything what you mentioned. Like you can connect with the prescriber, you can order from pharmacy, you can make a stock, you can if you have a complications, you always have a backup. So
Yeah,
I'm using faces since day one,
yeah,
really. Like
amazing.
yeah,
That's so good to hear. And I think you're right. A lot of clients now, they understand what faces is. And
yeah,
they
totally.
know that if their practitioner is using faces, they're getting their consent correctly, they're getting their before and after pictures, they're storing the batch numbers. They're also ordering from licensed pharmacies and using a registered prescriber. And I think clients are a lot more aware of the do's and don'ts when it comes to the industry. So I think
Yes.
if a practitioner is using faces and doing all of those things, it is also reassuring for the client because we are here to obviously safeguard them. And as a practitioner, those are kind of the bare minimum things you should be doing anyway. So just moving on to faces, obviously you've used us for a long time now. What would you say is your favorite thing about the app, or what's your favorite?
I think the thing that you can connect with prescriber and then you can straight away like order from pharmacy and the payment is just literally 3 clicks and is everything done. So that's very helpful because Otherwise, you have to do it everything separately, and then you can send everything to your clients, all the aftercare, all the prescription, like everything you can send straight away to them. So I think this is my favorite thing, that you have combined everything, all the essentials for practitioners in one place.
Yeah, just one place
Yeah.
on your phone, on your iPad.
Yeah, exactly. And literally, like sometimes I got the message from client, oh, when was my last treatment? I can literally go on the app on
Yeah,
my phone and just send over.
yeah,
And that's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's very helpful.
I'm so pleased you're loving using it, Fabian, and it is obviously assisting you with your business as well. I think that's the
Yeah,
thing.
totally.
We want the app to be accessible, we want it to be helpful, we want it to be easy to use, and ultimately there to take the stress out of running a business away from you guys as practitioners.
Exactly. Because apart from injecting people, we also have the admin staff that we
Yeah,
want to minimize and make it as easy as possible.
yeah. The
Yeah,
injecting side is such a small aspect
it
when it
is.
comes to
It
actually
is.
running a full
Oh,
business.
God. Yeah.
But thank you so much for being a loyal Faces user and just
Thank you. Yeah.
that everything's going well with your business. I can't wait to see what is coming for you for the next year or so. We'll have to
Thank
do like
you.
a follow-up one after the regulations have come in as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you so
Holly.
much, Fabian.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.